Hey lads, many of you requested a commentary for some of my videos. I decided to do one. I haven't done one before, so I'll completely improvise, but let's see what happens at the end. The fight is Kurog Grimtotem on Heroic, and at the start there's not much going on, so just DPS a little bit, few lava bursts, and wait for something to happen. You can see the skills and the spells that I'm casting along with their targets on the left hand side of your screens, and as soon as some damage is out, all I'm trying to do is spread my Riptides and have them to as many people as possible. You can see that I casted my Primordial Wave here. It's a relatively short cooldown, so nothing to be afraid of, and I'm also doing some spot healing along with chain heals. More lava burst in between, and flame shocks, of course, because you want to proc your focused inside if there's nothing else to do. Now that there's actually some damage out, I'm casting Healing Rain on top of my melee, and over here there's like a big movement coming up, so I am casting my Spirit Locker's Grace, and I'm casting Chain Heals on the move. There's not much going on right now, but everybody's taking a little bit of a damage, so right here I'm casting my Healing Tide Totem. I could have pressed it a little bit early, but that's a good time to press that button. If everybody's taking damage, then you can heal everybody up with that totem. It's a 3-minute cooldown. It's a big cooldown, but nevertheless, I think that was a good usage. Next up, our melee gets hit a lot with the Frostbite projectiles. Not a good thing, but again, plenty to heal, trying to spread the Riptides. And the next mechanic that comes out, I think, is the Meteors. So I'm not very good into using my Spirit Link Totem, but when there's a Meteor, that's actually a very good call for that button. Our raid leader actually made a mistake here. He called an immune to one of the Meteors, but it turns out that's our priest, ripped. But I did cast my Spirit Link on the melee, so they take less damage overall. Back to the projectiles. At this point, I'm just trying to keep my Healing Rain up, so I hit more people with the Luge over it, and then cast my Wellsprings to create big cloud bursts. And honestly, that is what you should be doing most of the time. Spread the Riptides, and then try to create big cloud bursts with the Healing Rain and Wellspring. Now we're in the transition phase. There are adds over here, but there's not much damage going on right now. There's going to be much more damage once the Frost ad starts casting. But right now I'm just DPSing because there's not much else to do. And actually the main thing is knowing the fight. If you know the fight, if you know when the damage is coming, then you would know when to save the cooldowns for, when to press your big buttons. In the meantime, you're just spreading frame shocks. So here's the Frost ad. It's doing some casting. I don't think I have any big cooldowns right here. I could pop Ancestral Guidance. I see that's up, but I didn't do it. I know that my other healers are actually saving some cooldowns for this phase, so I'm just not caring that much. And trying to save some mana because I was pretty aggressive in that first phase. I did a lot of healing, a lot of mana spending, so I'm just trying to play it a little bit slower here. And have more mana for when the boss actually comes back alive, back from the ad phase. Honestly though, that is a mistake. I should have popped Ancestral Guidance here, and that's the other main thing. On top of knowing the fight, you should be using all of your buttons. If there is a button that you're not using, you should just not take it. You should take a passive talent so you actually get some value out of it. Other than that, you should be practicing as much as you can on pressing all of your buttons. Over here, we are already in the Earth segment of the fight, and those debuffs go on the people, which are actually heal absorbs. That is actually a pretty good usage of Primordial Wave. You can just Riptide all the people that have the debuff, then pop your Primordial Wave, and of course you want to cast a Healing Wave after that, so you get through those healing debuffs as quickly as possible. Now, another set of debuffs. The adds are coming up, and I still haven't popped my Ancestral Guidance, so I'm pretty bad at this too. I could have popped it, and it would have been back when we had the adds. Okay, now I pop it, finally, at the end. As you can see, my Primordial Wave is already back, so for this set of debuffs, I could have popped that. I don't think I did it, but as you can see, you can even... Although I'm doing a lot of healing, I could have done much better if I pressed more buttons at the correct times. I guess the other thing to talk about is Unleash Life. It's a pretty good spell. you're probably mostly benefited by using it on Healing Rain, but the best use is actually just to press that button, right? Even if you tie it up with Riptide after that, you're getting more benefit. You're getting more healing. So that's the other button that you should be pressing on cooldown, and I wouldn't worry too much what I combine it with, as long as you press it on cooldown and you make the best usage out of it. And the last thing to mention, I just popped 2 Earthen Wall Totems. You should be always using your Totemic Recall talent, if you're using that, of course, with your Earthen Wall Totems. They actually do a lot of healing, they absorb a lot of healing, and this is basically your most useful totem. So if you want to reset the cooldown with Totemic Recall, you should be always using it on that totem instead of the Cloud Bursts, which are up all the time. Unfortunately, we couldn't kill the boss before that transition, so now we have to deal with the ads. I'm pretty dry on mana, and one thing that I see is that my mana tide is up. I don't have... actually, I do have a mana potion as well, so I popped the mana potion right now, but I could have popped the mana tide as well, and that would have been the better play, because the other healers would benefit from that as well. But all we need to do over here is basically just survive that that ad phase, and the boss is pretty much dead at this point. So I'm just trying to keep as many people alive as possible, staying in the healing range so we get more benefit from the Luge, and so forth. I hope you saw that positioning for the Wellspring that I just casted. Of course, that's a wave that goes in front of you, so when you're casting that, you should be trying to always be at the back end of the raid, so you hit as many people as possible with that. Using Gust of Wind here, just to get out quickly with this area effect. And you can actually see that I popped my Ancestral Shift at this point as well. It's a good usage to use it when there's a mechanic on you, or, you know, there's a lot of damage coming out and you can just reduce it on yourself. So the ad is almost dead here. Once the first ad is dead, the second one, of course, is much easier. And that's pretty much going to be the end of the fight. I didn't play perfect, but also keep in mind that if you're trying to parse as a healer, you are very dependent on 2 other things. The first thing is how good are the rest of the healers, and what's the composition that you're running in your raid. And the other thing is how good are the rest of your team playing, the DPS and the tanks, because if they play good and they don't take much damage, you know, there's not much to heal, so your parse is not going to be good, even if you play really, really good and really, really on point. Alright, so I'm just looking at my buttons right now. I know I have Sprint Link available, so I think I'll just drop it over here. It's not really needed, but I'm pretty sure I could have found a better usage for it at some point. I didn't, so that's another mistake that I made. But nevertheless, the fight is over, so we can get our shinies right now. And that's pretty much it, right? So positioning yourself correctly and then using all of your buttons are going to take you a long way. And then knowing the fight, knowing when to use the big cooldowns is also going to benefit you a lot. Then the little tips that you can use are, you probably saw that I was casting Flame Shock every now and then as much as possible whenever I had the chance, just so I can proc my Focused Insight, and the next spell is 15% more. If you can get your Flame Shock on a Healing Rain, that's probably optimal, or Wellspring, of course, but even if it's just for a Riptide, your Riptides are going to heal for more, and you can see the breakdown of my healing spells on the screen at the end of the fight. So that's pretty much it. Of course, this is not a boss guide or anything like that. It's just me babbling on the mic while the fight is going on. Let me know what you think about this video. Maybe I can try to do a guide instead. Maybe that will be more beneficial. And of course, you can check my channel for some of the healing tips for the Restoration Shaman that I have uploaded previously. So yeah, thanks for watching. Let me know if you liked the video, and I can try and make more if you think those are beneficial to you. Cheers.